Okay, all right, we're talking about TF1 now. Man, such a good movie. It was so good. So full disclosure, totally went and saw it a month ago at this point. Actually, tomorrow will be exactly a month since I've seen it. I just wanted to let all of you get a chance to watch it, really. Give you a little bit of a grace period. And actually, no, it's been more than a month because I saw it the 14th of September. I saw it early. I got invited to an early access screening about an hour from my house. So yeah, I ended up getting to see it early with a friend. We saw it in full screen. It was wonderful. Probably, okay, so let me just preface this before I say what I'm about to say. I am one of the biggest Bayverse fans there is, okay? I love the Bayverse, always have, always will. It's what got me into Transformers. You can see the pictures I'm putting up here of my shelf over there. I've watched the first movie a million times. I can quote it word for word. This film blew those movies out of the water. I'm not joking. It is that good, okay? It's not just good for a Transformer film. It's not good for the franchise. This is straight up a good film in general. Like, it really, if it was doing better at the box office, which, I mean, I'm gonna also tell you this. You need to go see it. If you haven't gone to see it already, go see it. It's really something that needs to be watched in the theater, and you need to go out and support your franchise. It's really fantastic movie. If it was doing a little bit better at the box office, like if it was doing real numbers as I wanted to, it would probably be in contention for the best animated film of the year. It's that good. Okay. I also want to preface this. This is going to be spoiler heavy. If you didn't already see that on the title, this will be This will be very spoilery. I'm going to use clips from the trailer while I'm talking. So yeah, let's actually get into talking about the movie. It's got a runtime of, I think, 1 hour and 41 minutes. So it's relatively short in comparison to the rest of the films in the franchise. But I think it's like I said, it's fantastic. I just keep saying it over and over. The voice cast, perfection. I was among them at the very beginning that really thought that I didn't know how I was going to feel about Chris Hemsworth voicing Optimus. Well, I should say Orion. But dude nailed it. I mean, there's no way around it. He absolutely nailed it. And Brian Tyree Henry, absolutely fantastic. He just crushed it as D16 and at the end of the movie Megatron. Keegan-Michael Key, thought he was just absolutely fantastic. He's just himself, basically. Because like recently in movies besides like Toy Story 4, he hasn't really done his own voice, you know? Because in the Mario movie, he was Toad. Didn't really get the chance to be himself in that movie. I mean, kinda. Like, he was himself, just didn't get to use his own voice. But in this movie, he is strictly himself. And he really, really surprised me. Because everyone was really thinking that he was going to be annoying as Bumblebee, you know, but no, he's funny, you know. I thought he was hilarious, especially some of the jokes he made. And oh my God, they threw an Aaron joke in there. I'm not going to spoil that; it's in there somewhere, but you're gonna have to listen for it. So it's great. Scarlett Johansson also, she's fantastic. Just did fantastic as Alita. So I guess we should talk some more about the characters. We've got Orion Pax. His arc, also I was glad to be wrong about, because I thought he was going to be just from the first trailer, which, I mean, that first trailer completely misses what the movie's about. It comes off as oh, I'm the nobody destined for greatness. You know, it's like that, but it's not so much about that. It's more of listen, we've been stuck in this job for so long. I want to do something else. You know, I just want something different. And it's so good the way they handle it, because it's more like, it comes off more like you're with your friend all the time, and you got that one friend that's always like super super excitable about things and wants to always do something, always wants to drag you into it. That's Orion. And then on the other, and then I'm juxtaposed to D16, where he's this really kind of a little bit neurotic, you know, little like I want to follow the rules, but like if my friend can pull me out of it, I'm gonna probably follow my friend, you know. He was like that a lot of the times. And that really pushes the movie, you know, it really gets the movie going, that relationship between the two. And they're honestly best friends, you know. They have such a good friend dynamic with that dynamic. You get to see with them their co-workers, because they're miners, you know, they all work in the mine, which I thought was a weird turn, because Orion is typically not a miner. That's kind of Megatron's thing, like at the beginning of Cybertron before the war starts. So it's kind of, it was, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of lame that they're throwing both of them in the mining class. But it makes the story of their, like, bromance breakup a lot better, actually, because the fact that they separate because of their ideological differences makes a lot more sense when they're both miners. But yeah, so that was really cool. And then so all their co-workers are like all bunch of G1 characters that you'll just be like, oh, it's that person, or Sunstreaker, you know, and it's a lot of neat background characters that you'll point out. Like Jazz gets the most screen time out of all of them, and it's pretty cool because he's pivotal to like one of the plot devices to get Orion moving on in the story is Jazz gets hurt. So, and he has to go help him. So that was really cool. But yeah, then we move on to Alita 1, which is like, she's like that boss that gets fired and then like tries to hang out with you after you get fired. But like, she doesn't want to, but she kind of has to, because that's the only people you like that associates with you still. Basically, that's what it is, because like it goes from she's the manager, the mine manager, which this is insane. Okay, so I know there's probably some people that are in my subscribers that probably don't know the hierarchy of like mines in real life. So the mine manager is like the most like running, like top of the mill, runs the mine. She's basically a mine manager in this movie. And then she gets fired and gets put down the totem pole like almost all the way because she gets fired over the thing that happens. So that kind of pisses her off, and she gets really mad at Orion and everybody. And then, mind you, she gets even more mad when she realizes, oh wait, now they're doing more stuff and it's going to get me in even more trouble. So then that's what catalyzes her to go on to the adventure with them. Is she's like, oh, I'm not letting you get me in trouble again, so I'm coming with you to make sure you don't screw even more stuff up. Well, then eventually, after the whole race scene that we saw in the clip, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. But after the race thing, they go down and they meet Bumblebee, or B-127, which is funny because the whole thing about him is like at the beginning of the movie, he's absolutely delusional. He keeps thinking he's getting a promotion all the time, but like they just keep putting him farther and farther away from everyone. So I just thought that was really funny to me, which is where the whole badassatron thing comes up. But he is the same character the entire movie, except at some point he just gets weapons. Like that's what's fun about him. He's this like overly like the whole idea of this Bumblebee is in the past like how many movies have we had so far? 7 other movies that are in like the Bayverse and the Nightverse, whatever we're calling it. So in those 2 different continuities, he doesn't talk, you know? Well, now they're like, okay, now I'm never gonna shut up. You know, that's the angle they were going for with B in this, is he never shuts up and he keeps talking. Which most of the jokes they have for him, they always hit, almost always hit. So that was good. The big thing about this story though is it's kind of class warfare, like, because it's the miners that didn't choose to be put there. They were actively shoved there Like, they were just pushed into that position, you know, because later in the movie we find out that not only were they not created, that's a double negative, they weren't not created with key cogs, they were basically mutilated, which is really weird. So they get their cogs taken out at birth, and then they're shoved into the mining class because they can't transform. And that's how their classes are basically decided, which is really, really disturbing. But yeah, that's where they're at. And it turns out also that Sentinel Prime is a murderous bastard. Who'd have thought? Yeah, so it's basically like a canon event in every universe for Sentinel Prime to be a prick at this point, which, I mean, I'm here for it because it's kind of funny. Because, I mean, in animated, he's an a-hole to Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime? You mean they still let you command other Autobots?
In Dark of the Moon, he's a traitor. In IDW, he's a weird, like, Marxist, fascist, weird guy. I don't even know. I think the only one he's not weird in is G1. Because he's not doing, like, he doesn't really do anything in G1. But anyway, so we continue on and we find out that, like, not only did he, like, was he never an actual Prime, he's just straight up killed all the Primes because he wanted the Matrix. And so he's led them on this weird facade for, like, years that he's not only not found the Matrix, but, like, they're still up there looking for it on the surface, which, like, the whole thing about this Cybertron is it's like there's layers to it, because, like, on the top it's all this vegetative, like, transforming vegetation, and then on the next level it's the cities, and the cities kind of like hang too. It's weird. They're like hanging like wind chimes. Like, that was one cool thing. Like, you're gonna rewatch this movie and always see something new. That was another thing. The set design is flawless. But anyway, the Cybertron's designs are very unique on this one. So there's like I said, 3 levels. The top, like, vegetative crust, the regular Cybertron Icon area, and then there's the mines. So anyway, Sentinel takes routine trips up to the surface on exhibitions, or expeditions, wrong word. And he says he's looking for the Matrix, but he's not. He's delivering hard mind energon to the Quintessons. That's like straight up corruption, because when the Matrix disappeared, it caused an energon shortage, which made them have to make a mining class. So the miners are mining all this energon out, and there's a shortage. For what reason? Because they're owing a debt to the Quintessons, because Sentinel made a deal with them to kill the Primes. So that's where we are, you know? And that really plays into the story, because that's the event that makes Megatron, or D16, basically lose his mind, because he's like, oh, I want to kill him now. You know, it's made him so mad that he wants to kill him, and Orion's like, dude, we maybe shouldn't do that. We should probably just arrest him. And Megatron's like, no, we're killing him. We're going to kill him. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. He's going to die. He's going to die because of that. And so we get into that, and there's a big thing where they transform, they get caught, blah, blah, blah. They meet. And then this is the fun stuff. After the whole transformation thing, and they get the cogs from the dead Primes, after Alpha Trion gets awakened and whatnot, they go meet the Decepticons, or the Decepticons. They're the High Guard in this, which is just such a cool way to introduce them, in my opinion, which is why they look the way they look, why they can fly, why they can do a whole bunch of other stuff that Autobots can't, or certain Autobots can't, because we find out that a lot of them can fly. So yeah, they're all great. Then comes a running joke of Elita punching people repeatedly, which was one of my favorite jokes. She punches Shockwave like 3 different times, and then eventually it gets to a point where he's like, why should we follow you? And she just goes, and then he's like, oh, okay, we're following you then. Because he's so scared of her, which is just fantastic. And then, like, so the whole thing that kind of tipped me off that Sentinel was going to be a traitor was, like, he had Arachnid hanging around him. She just looked evil. Like, there was, like, no other way about it. Everything she did up to the point where the big fight happens, she just looked very morally dubious. Like, on so many levels. She looked so evil. Eventually, they have their whole big takeover fight thing. And at the same time, Orion's trying to stop Megatron, or stop D16 from going overboard. So he's trying to, like, show the truth and everything. And then it just turns out that it was kind of all for nothing. And what they do is end up killing Sentinel anyway. Like, just brutally. This was, like, the most brutal thing in this movie. And it was, like, the fact that Sentinel's, like he's just straight up shocked this is happening to him. And he's on his, like, last knees, like, trying to crawl away. And D16 just picks him up and rips him in half. And as he throws his body down, you can just see the fear in life just fade away from his eyes as he makes a shocked, scared expression. It's so shocking for a PG-rated film. It's like, oh, that just happened. You know, it was one of those moments. So at that point, that's when Megatronus, I'm mixing continuities up, dang it. That's when he just takes the T-Cog, which was Megatronus, which D16's a major Megatronus fanboy, rips out the T-Cog and then puts that one in, and he gets all of his Megatron parts, finally. And mind you, right before that, he shot Orion, which is what made him, he falls and just starts some free fall into the pits. And he's dead, like, absolutely dead. Killed him dead, right there. So he's in free fall into the pits of Cybertron, and something catches him, this blue light. Oh, what could that be, you know? It's literally the primes, and the whole time the Matrix was given to them, because when Sentinel went to steal it, it disappeared, and no one knew where it went. So that's why he was able to prolong the search for it, and he never found it, because he wasn't going to. He wasn't worthy of being a prime. So they chose, because of all the selfless acts that Orion had done in the movie, they're like, hey, this dude is worthy of being a prime, and they gave him the Matrix, and it healed him. And also turned him into Optimus Prime, so there's that. But yeah, that was a great turnaround. It was kind of quick, though. I will say this, it was kind of quick. Didn't really expect it to be that fast, but it was good. It was still good. Another thing I will say, they really play into the optimism, because Alita makes a point in saying that, like, your optimism, your blind optimism is your best strength, to Orion in the whole thing with talking about the things that they've been going through the whole movie, with how D16 has been so cynical about the whole Sentinel thing, and now that they're all caught by the Viacons and Sentinel now, and he's still trying to think of a good plan, you know. And that was his optimism, and that's, I think, why that was really how they kind of played into the name Optimus Prime, which I thought was cool. And there's actually, like, a really funny moment where they're in the throne room and D16 keeps mouthing off to Sentinel, and Sentinel just goes, "Nuh-uh." I was like, oh my god, because I was with one of my good friends, Calming Wind. We went to see it together, and we just kind of looked at each other when they said that and just snickered back and forth to each other, because the nuh-uh jokes just get way too out of hand on Twitter and stuff. So that was funny to see. The fact of the matter is, it's actually a really, like, well-based story around communism and fascism. I noticed, like, it's kind of that, you know? It's weirdly, like, they're trying to go from one to the other. And I thought that was really neat that they went from communism with Sentinel Prime, which is, like, secretly, like, you're doing everything evil behind the scenes, to straight up fascism was right in your face. It's like, we're gonna kill all of you if you don't follow us. You know, it's that thing. So I thought that was a really good show of like two evils. You know, that was really good. And then somebody weirdly said, some idiot out there said that it was like this movie is a weird thing about capitalism. I don't know where they got that from. Like, I don't know where that came from. It's not at all. There's nothing about capitalism in this movie that like says that capitalism is bad. I don't know where that came from, but I digress. And then one of the funniest things for me was Darkwing. This has been a running thing on Twitter for like the last like month. Is Darkwing being angry about minors? And I was like, oh my god, it's Michael Moore. it's just Michael Moore as a character. Oh, I love it. I love it because he's just this he's just the meanest asshole there is. Just constantly bullying people because of the class that they're in. And it's like, that's literally like, that's so funny because of how over the top it is in the film. It's like, you just want to see him get punched in the face one time. And I don't know that we do. Do we even see him get hit? I don't remember. But regardless, there was the movie starts out with a perfect joke because it's him and Darkwing, or him and Dreadwing that show up, and they're gonna arrest Orion for being in the records room without permission. And he's like, I can transform. So he like does this whole like move thing, like puts his head down and like tries to compact, and he just runs off. So that was one of my favorite jokes in the film. It was really cool to see all the legacy characters get their cogs at the end of the movie and like transform and get all their parts that they were missing. So that was really neat. It was funny because there's a trading card out there of Sunstreaker, and it's funny because he doesn't have his ears. So like, and someone had made a joke about like how the like them not having cogs is like non-consenting circumcision. So it's like, imagine getting circumcised and you're also lose your ears in the process. And I was like, oh wait, that'll spoil the movie. So I couldn't make that meme. So I'm still waiting to post it. I made it, but like it's not, I haven't posted it yet. But what else can I talk about? Oh, the fact that they, like, one of my favorite things about this is the fact that they just grabbed from all sorts of continuities to make references, and a bunch of, like, literally at the beginning, they showed Cybertron and Dreamwave, like, basically put together as Primus, and showed him transforming into the planet, which was great. I'm really a big fan of Primus being a big part of it. Is it, and I've got a lot of questions, is it better than Rise of the Beast? Did I like it better than Rise of the Beast? Yes. Yes. I liked it better than every Transformers movie, even the 86 one. I think it's better than the 86 movie. But I also don't think the 86 movie is that good of a standalone film. That's just my opinion. With G1 it's great, but like just on its own, not really feeling it as much. But yeah, this is a great film to start people out. I mean, it got one of the like greatest FNAF YouTubers in on the fandom, and I was like, yeah, come on. I replied to her on Twitter. I was like, yeah, come on, get on in here. And then I just got to give a quick shout out to TF Hype Guy for absolutely doing numbers on the movie. Like, the dude has literally done better marketing than Paramount. He literally got one of my friends who literally had no interest in the Transformers besides the movies to kind of give a crap about the franchise. Because she saw him, like, he randomly popped up on her Twitter feed, and she talked to me last night at a Halloween party we had, and she was like, you know this guy TF Hype Guy? Because we were talking about Transformers, and I was like, yeah, I do. He's pretty cool. And she's like, yeah, he's been all over my Twitter promoting the movie. And I was like, yeah, he's literally been like carrying the fandom's cross to get this movie off the ground. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for that. And then I had to reveal to her my YouTube channel, so that was fun. But yeah, so honestly, this movie was great. It was awesome. Just please go see it if you haven't gone to see it, and don't pirate it. There's people out there pirating it right now, and I don't care why. Just don't do that. Like, come on. And they were telling me that I need to go touch grass and stuff, and I need to be shoved into a locker. And I was like, to that, I have only this to say: stop breaking the law, asshole! So yeah, I just wanted to ramble on a little bit about the movie. Fantastic. Go see it if you haven't yet. So, I mean, till then, keep growing your collections. TreeBot out.